Davy Crockett at the Alamo, in the heart of Texas, where the vast expanse of the frontier met the dusty horizon, a pivotal chapter in American history unfolded. The year was 1836, a time when tensions between the Texan settlers and Mexican forces reached a boiling point. Among the legendary figures who emerged during this tumultuous period was Davy Crockett, a frontiersman, folk hero, and politician. Davy Crockett, often clad in his iconic coonskin cap, was a larger-than-life character. His reputation as a skilled hunter and a charismatic storyteller had spread far and wide, making him a beloved figure among the settlers who sought independence from Mexican rule. As the winds of revolution swept across Texas, Crockett found himself drawn to the Alamo, a former Franciscan mission turned fortress, which would soon become the symbol of resistance. The Alamo, situated in the heart of San Antonio, stood as a stone sentinel against the backdrop of the vast Texan landscape. Its walls, weathered by time and marked by history, became the focal point of a struggle that would echo through the ages. Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, with a formidable army at his command, laid siege to the Alamo, determined to quell the Texan rebellion. Within the walls of the Alamo, a diverse group of defenders gathered, united by a common cause, the fight for freedom. Among them stood Davy Crockett, a figure whose presence infused the fortress with a sense of determination and resilience. The defenders, a mix of Texans, volunteers, and adventurers, knew that they faced overwhelming odds. Yet they stood firm, driven by a shared belief in the right to determine their own destiny. As the Mexican forces closed in, the atmosphere within the Alamo became charged with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. Davy Crockett, with his distinctive voice and commanding presence, rallied the spirits of the defenders. He spoke of liberty, of the principles for which they fought, and of the indomitable spirit that defined the Texan people. The siege began, and the Alamo reverberated with the thunder of cannon fire and the crackling of muskets. The defenders, outnumbered and outgunned, fought with a fierce determination. Crockett, often found at the forefront of the battle, became a symbol of courage and tenacity. His coonskin cap, a beacon in the chaos, marked him as a figure to be both admired and feared by the Mexican forces. The days turned into nights, and the defenders held their ground. The Alamo, though battered and scarred, stood defiant against the onslaught. The Mexican forces, under the command of Santa Anna, intensified their attacks, seeking to break the spirit of those within the fortress. Yet the defenders, inspired by the unwavering resolve of Davy Crockett and their shared cause, refused to yield. As the siege wore on, tales of the Alamo reached far and wide. The courage of its defenders became a source of inspiration for those who yearned for freedom and self-determination. The legend of Davy Crockett, the king of the wild frontier, grew with each passing day, his name becoming synonymous with the spirit of the Texan resistance. Within the walls of the Alamo, a camaraderie formed among the defenders. They hailed from different backgrounds, each with their own story and reasons for taking up arms. Yet, Within the crucible of battle, they became a brotherhood, bound by a shared destiny and the unyielding belief that their sacrifice would not be in vain. As the siege reached its climax, the defenders faced a moment of reckoning. The Mexican forces, relentless in their assault, breached the walls of the Alamo. The fortress, though valiantly defended, could no longer withstand the overwhelming tide of the enemy. In the midst of the chaos, Davy Crockett stood tall, a figure of defiance against the forces that sought to extinguish the flame of Texan independence. The final battle raged through the corridors and courtyards of the Alamo. The defenders, outnumbered and surrounded, fought with a desperation born of the knowledge that they stood on the precipice of history. Davy Crockett, his coonskin cap now stained with sweat and gunpowder, continued to lead the charge, his voice echoing through the chaos, urging his comrades to stand firm. In the heat of battle, the defenders faced the inevitability of their fate. The Mexican forces, led by Santa Anna himself, pressed forward with a determination to crush the resistance. The Alamo, once a symbol of hope, now became a crucible of sacrifice. Amidst the tumult, the figure of Davy Crockett stood out. Surrounded by the enemy, he fought with a valor that would become the stuff of legend. The defenders, inspired by his example, fought with a ferocity that defied the grim reality of their situation. The corridors of the Alamo became a battleground where the clash of ideals reverberated with each echoing shot. As the battle reached its zenith, a solemn truth emerged: the defenders of the Alamo, despite their heroic resistance, faced an insurmountable foe. The Mexican forces, driven by the orders of Santa Anna, overwhelmed the remaining defenders. In the midst of the chaos, Davy Crockett, surrounded by the enemy, fought with a valor that transcended the mortal realm. The fate of Davy Crockett at the Alamo remains shrouded in the mists of history. Some accounts suggest that, surrounded and outnumbered, he fell in battle, his coonskin cap serving as a grim trophy for the victorious Mexican forces. Other tales speak of a more somber end, with Crockett captured and executed, his defiance echoing through the pages of history. Regardless of the details, the legacy of Davy Crockett at the Alamo endures. His sacrifice, along with that of the defenders, became a rallying cry for the Texan forces. The fall of the Alamo, though a moment of despair, ignited the flames of resistance that would ultimately lead to the Texan victory at the Battle of San Jacinto. The Alamo, once a fortress in the wilderness, became a symbol of sacrifice and determination. The names of its defenders, including the legendary Davy Crockett, became etched in the annals of American history. The Texan cry of "Remember the Alamo" echoed through the years, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit could rise with an indomitable strength. As the sun set on the Texan horizon, the Alamo stood as a silent witness to the ebb and flow of time. The coonskin cap of Davy Crockett, though lost in the chaos of battle, became a symbol of a spirit that refused to be extinguished. The Alamo, with its weathered walls and echoes of a bygone era, stood as a testament to the enduring legacy of those who dared to defy the march of history.